Hello, guys. I know it's been a little bit since I've posted, but if you've been kind of keeping up on my recent videos, I went through a little bit of a hard time where my company got bought out and then they decided to do like a whole wipeout. So they let go of pretty much everyone in the company to rehire. My guess is so I don't have to pay as much for the employees, like just a clean slate. Which was really hard because I did not see it coming. Um, and I wasn't there at this particular company for very long. And then I got a new job. I'm still in the healthcare system. I'm a medical assistant. I work 100% remotely, which has been a dream. And it's been really good for my personal health. I've been having some health issues as well. And I also have a really senior dog. She doesn't live with me full time. I have two cats full time with me. They're mine. My first pets that I owned myself. And then I have two dogs that are my family's dogs. I've had since I was a young teenager, and I had them over maybe like 1 to 2 times a week at this point. Um, and then I also have a fish. But those are I have a betta and it's pretty low maintenance. So that's just a quick little rundown in case you haven't seen my videos or are just wondering kind of what's going on. I'm more settled into work. I hope to be doing more videos. And the reason why I'm kind of showing this off right now is because I started this YouTube channel because I love preparedness. I love to be prepared for every situation, not only for me, but for my family and for my pets. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you, I've done this on my channel a few times, a new updated version on what's in my pet's first aid kit / emergency preparedness and what's in mine. Now, some people say that you're over the board, like, you're kind of crazy. I think my family thinks that a little bit too. But honestly, I'd rather be prepared for any situation if I don't have access to my vet, to my personal healthcare provider. And something else that's noteworthy is I've been really trying to go more of the route of natural medicine. Now, I don't think that you need to totally get rid of modern medicine. I think it's great and it definitely has its place. But I also want to learn more about natural remedies. I've been studying it and I've been trying to put some things together. And once I get the hang of that, I will definitely show you guys and kind of tell you what I've learned. But I'm definitely not comfortable with sharing any of that as I'm still new to it and learning. I've always been someone that likes natural remedies, but I'm trying to take it an extra step further and learn about it. I see a naturopath doctor, and I also see on top of that a regular MD doctor. I like to do a combination. I think they both have their place. Where I was going with that is on my channel, that's the main thing I want to do. But I also throw in like hauls. I'm trying to throw in some cooking videos, some like grocery videos, tour videos. And the reason being is I just don't have enough content to make for emergency preparedness every time I want to post. So I'm trying to do a combination of things, but Rainy Days is my name of my channel, and I just want to show how I personally prepare. And I think that there is a ton of different ways, a ton of different methods, and I think some people get really stuck in their ways, and that's okay. But if you're gonna leave comments, please be nice. I'm always willing to learn, but sometimes when I make these videos, people really get stuck in their ways and are not showing their advice in a kind way. And I don't know the reason for that because I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to have suggestions, but let's just be kind. I know that's a really long what's it called? Intro. Note to self, I'm also just not good at speaking apparently. So what I'm doing today is showing my cats first aid. And so I have this bin underneath kind of like my TV stand, and so that way I can just pull it out and bring with me if I need to evacuate my house. These have handles, and I have a clip on my pet's bug out bag and my bug out bag to clip them onto the bag, but also in just like a rush I can just pull this and bring it with me. Just a quick little tour of everything in here. I have my cat's first aid, my first aid, my cat's like book about vaccinations and their care and emergency contact stuff. I have my medical history binder. Like I said, I have had some medical issues these past few years, so that's just easy to grab. Has my medical records printed out and laminated and sorted, and then obviously like cat cones. So that's what's in there, and I will be pulling this out and just showing my cat stuff, and I will be right back. Okay, so I think I have my camera lined up relatively well as I shake it. In my last video, I noticed the camera was off by quite a bit. I was too lazy to refilm because by the time I noticed, it was too late. And yeah, so I think everything's lined up well. If not, I apologize. I do have a new phone. I finally upgraded. I had a Samsung Galaxy S8, and I'm just someone that if the technology works, I really don't want to update it. I just don't want to spend the money on it, and it was falling apart. I had it for like 6 or 7 years, I think. Maybe even longer. I think like 8 actually. And it was just time. It was not holding data, apps, slow text, slow internet, blah, blah, blah. So now I have a Samsung Galaxy S24, and it's been great. The video quality is a lot better, pictures, and audio stuff like that. So also in some of my videos, people ask why I put like a towel down, and it's because right above my desk I have a lamp and it reflects on things. It's probably been reflecting on the cones. I am getting a new desk. I'm very happy. It's stand-up desk. It could be sit or stand, and I'm gonna get like a blurred mat just to protect my desk from scratches and to help with videos. Not sure if it will work as well with the lights, but we'll see. In my last first aid video for both mine and for my cats, people were asking for me to go a little bit more in detail about things. So I'll try to go as much into detail as I can without like overdoing it, but just be prepared. This is going to be a very talky video. And if you're just into like fast paced, you can just go ahead and skip this video. Like I totally understand. Sometimes I just want people to get done with their intros, get done, like just show me and that's it. And sometimes I really like to learn about stuff. So I also want a disclaimer, I have never been in animal healthcare. I've only been in human healthcare. So I'm not a pro. This is like just what I do, but always make sure do your own research and talk to your own vets. With that being said, let's finally get into this video. So I obviously have cones. I originally got these when my cats got spayed, obviously for like stitches to not pull out. And I have one really rambunctious cat, and she ended up pulling her stitches anyways, even with the cone in, just from being young and crazy and running around and just not wanting to stay put. So she had to go back to the vet to be put on antibiotics because that's what happens sometimes. She's totally fine. She never actually got fully sick. I just noticed some redness around the stitches and a little bit of opened area. So I took her in just to be safe. Totally okay. So that's why I got these cones. My cats don't love the cones. They don't put up a fight, but I don't think any animal really likes the shame of cone or whatever it's called. I've had to use it multiple times since then. I've had to use it for my little dog that I have part-time. And then I've had to use it for my own cats for like, well, for example, one of my cats had just recently actually a hot spot, I believe that's what it was, on her paw. She kept bugging it. So I did actually have some of my first aid things to help with that. And a cone was one because she would not stop itching it. So cones, if you have a bigger dog, get a bigger cone. Also, something I want to mention is when I get my own dog, I want a big dog, I will get stuff appropriate for that size animal. But for now, this works for my little dogs and my cats. And then I'm not going to open this like on camera, but I'm going to like take it off camera and just kind of go over what's in the Bible. It's not actually a Bible, obviously. This is just like, I call it my cat Bible because it has everything you need to know. I leave it out when I'm out of town for like information wise. So I have like my pet information. I have their name, the species of cat, which mine are just like, they're nothing fancy. They're just medium to short-haired domestic cats. So I put Tabby Mix. Their birthdays, because I do know their exact birthdays. Any unique qualities to like help identify the animal. Any health history, medications if they're on any. Mine currently aren't. Vaccinations, I just put up to date, see vaccine card and rabies tag, which is in this binder as well. And the food they eat and their routine. And I do that for both of my cats. And then I put in order, I put where to, oops, sorry, I know that makes some people sick. In order, I put who to go to first for medical advice. So I put online vet advice. You can go to Chewy for free online vet advice for non-emergency stuff, obviously. In case you guys don't know, you just go to chewy.com. Then there's 3-bar button on the upper left corner. You scroll down to pharmacy, and under that, push connect with a vet. And they're open from 3 a.m. to 9 p.m. But if you live in a different time zone, check that out first. And I do that for non-emergency stuff, like for the hotspot on my cat's paws. I just asked if this was a be appropriate way to help with that, and of course, they will tell you yes, no, and then if it turns into this, go to your own vet. And then I put my primary care vet's information. I don't want to show any of this because you can figure out where I live if I do. But my primary care vet's information, the name, the address, the phone number, and when they're open. Then urgent care, which is the name, address, phone number, and then when they're open. And then the emergency, so they're just the most expensive, but obviously if it's emergency, you want to do the emergency if you have to. The name, address, phone number, they're open 24 hours. I put the pet poison hotline, not phone number. I put my own emergency information if I need to be contacted while I'm out of town. And then I put my mom's information as a next emergency contact number if they can't contact me, because, you know, I want them to be whoever's pet sitting, or if they, for some reason, ever get lost, which would be heartbreaking. I guess if they get lost, they wouldn't have this information, so never mind. Then I have their rabies information. Again, I just don't want to show any of this. It has personal information on it. They're up to date on their rabies vaccines. So I have a section for both of them. And then I have like the information from any encounters they've had from the vet for each pet. So that's kind of what's in this binder. Again, I know it's a lot. I'm extra. I understand. You don't have to do that. It's totally fine. Totally optional. Now for the fun stuff. This is what people tend to like more. I just found this. It was out of the bag, so I'm just going to put it in here. In my last video, you would note that for both mine and for my cats, the bags were a lot smaller. And I will probably someday make a separate small, compact first aid kit for bug out bags. But for now, if I have to bug out, which is your last option, you always want to bug in if you can. But if you have to leave your place for some reason, I would grab this, clip it to my bag, or just bring that whole like container. So one of my cats is visiting. This is my stinker cat. Both my cats are really nice, by the way. She's just my curious one that always wants to get into trouble. She's the one that pulled her stitches because she wouldn't hold still. So I upgraded them because my stuff that I want to keep for sure all would not fit in here in that little bag. But again, someday I'll probably make a compact one again, just with not everything and only the absolute necessities for both me and my animals. I try to keep it organized as possible, but it just doesn't happen. It just always gets jumbled around. So this is just real life. I'm someone that's pretty type A and likes to keep things organized, but in order to get a bag big enough, I needed like a big pocket that didn't have containers, like compartmentalized, because all their stuff is a lot bigger. Mine is a different setup in this, so it's a lot more organized, but this is just kind of the real life for you. So let's start over here. I have one of each size of different syringes. I have 3 ml, 10 ml. I have 2 1 mLs because this is the most common one I've had to use. 2 cats, just in case. 5 ml, excuse me. And then I have 1 teaspoon and 1 tablespoon, I believe. Yeah, for each pet, case if it's like a pasty medication. Sometimes it's like a paste consistency, and not a liquid form. I try to not do pills for my animals if they need it as much as possible. If they have liquid form, that's the way I want to go. Reason being is my cats hate pills. They hate it. It's so hard to get them to swallow it. Even if I wrap it up in their favorite treat, chicken, whatever, they'll eat the treat around it and spit it out. So if I can do liquid form, I have such a good way to give it to them. I'll actually show you guys right now, or not show, tell you. What I do is I put the medication in, and then I get like a liquid treat like this and put it on the tip. And once the cat or dog starts licking it, you slowly push it in. If you have to do it multiple times, do it, because you don't want to shoot it in the back of their throat and like choke them. But that's how I do it. And then I give them a little bit of it by itself when it's in, and it's a positive association, and it goes so much better. They're not scared of you. They don't hate you. They're totally fine. At least with mine, all the ones I've had to do it with. And so I like to keep one of each at minimum unopened, just for sterile purposes. And then keep one of each for sterile purposes if it's a paste. I've had to do a paste for one of my cats when they were kittens. They're both 3 years old now. Well, one's 3 years old. One's going to turn 3 years old this month. They're only like 2 weeks apart. So both of their birthdays are in March. Fun fact. And then let's see. I have like these nonstick pads. I'm not going to take them out because it was actually really hard to get in here. But I have 2x2s and I think 3x4s, non-stick. Again, repetitive, non-stick. If you get sticky ones, it doesn't work because it sticks to their fur. So don't get non-stick. If you have a bigger animal, get bigger pads. You know, there's tons out there. There's 8x8s. They get huge. So just kind of cater it towards your size of animal. And a lot of stuff in this kit is used for both cats and dogs. I do keep 2 treats in here. Now, I personally actually don't use Temptation treats at all anymore. When I got these, I did not know how bad Temptations was for your animals. No judgment if you choose to. It's totally up to you. I just personally don't. And when I learned that, I only had 2 liquid treats left of these. And so I don't give it to them anymore at all. So I put it in my first aid kit. And then if I ever need them in here, I'll use it. If not, if they expire, I'll just throw them away. There's only 2 left. Oh, good thing I said that. They expired this last month. So I will actually be tossing these out and putting some of my newer, healthier ones in. I don't use the really popular one, Chewy. I don't remember. They're really, really expensive. And so I do kind of like a combination of, or a medium one. I don't do Temptations. I don't do that really fancy, like, brand name one. I think it's called Delicious. And it's okay. It's not horrible. It's not great. It's okay. So, and they don't get those that often either. I actually will do a tour of like my treat and like grooming stuff as well in a separate video. But yeah. Then I have some melatonin treats. In my opinion, these don't work the best. And these are just for cats. They're not for dogs. So I'll show you. I also have, because I only use them for 4th of July. I have one cat that gets really, really scared for 4th of July, and she's actually my least shy one. So I wanted to try this, and then it didn't work great, but I have it just in case. Then I have gloves and masks. Obviously, this is more to protect you than your animals. If they're bleeding and you need to handle a situation, sometimes like even the mask helps if an animal throws up. It's just, I'm not good with throw up. So a mask kind of just gives you that peace of mind for like a barrier, but it's just PPE. So I always keep just at least 1 or 2 pairs of each in there. And then I have some hand sanitizer. That's obviously for the human. And then I have some alcohol pads, and that is to go with this, to wipe off after your thermometer. You don't ever need to use it otherwise. Like you don't use that on animals or humans. It's just to sterilize things. So to go along with the thermometer, I also have Vaseline. And if you know, you'll dip it and really coat it in the Vaseline. And to get an accurate temperature on animal, you do have to go through the behind. I think they do have ear ones. I don't have one of those yet. But I've had to try to take a temperature one time of my cat, and it was the worst. I felt horrible. She didn't like it. And I ended up not doing it, and the vet just did it when I got to the vet, and she ended up being fine, just a little bug. But I think it would be better to look into an ear one. If I didn't hurt them at all, it's just, no animal's gonna like that, you know. So I think I'm gonna be looking to an ear one eventually here, or if 2 people, you know, if you have a second person to help you, that would be easier. I keep these tick removers. I also keep the directions with it. I've never had to use it, but I have it just in case. Both my cats are indoor cats. I do take them out on their harnesses sometimes, or they have a small catio on my back porch. I do live in an apartment setting, so it's not huge, but it's definitely something for when the sun is shining and nice. I will let them go out in there. So there's 2 different sizes. There's a small one and a big one. Here's the directions. It looks like you hook, twist, and lift. And then I have a flea cone. Again, never had to use it, but I like to keep one just in case, especially if you have to go like bug out. It's nice to have. I have a pair of trimming scissors. It's dulled on one side, and so when you cut, it doesn't hurt you or the animal, whatever you're cutting open. So they're just a cheap pair. They're not that expensive. And then a really cheap pair of clippers. I actually want to upgrade my one that I use on a daily basis. Put that one in here, and then upgrade my one I use, not on daily, but like the one I keep with their grooming stuff. Just because I like the one I have currently that I use often, but it's still not the best quality, and I want to get like a higher quality one because I don't want to accidentally ever split their nails. And so this one's just really cheap. It's my first one I got. It was like $1 one, and it's just not the greatest. It will do if you need it in a pinch, but I don't know. I don't love it. I've only used it a few times and it wasn't great. So again, I'm just gonna upgrade the one I have my grooming stuff, put the one I have my grooming stuff over here, and then I'll see if anyone wants these. If not, throw them out. They're really cheap. I think it was literally like $1. And I do trim my cat's paws. I do not declaw. Okay, like I don't believe in declawing. I do trim it. And I've trimmed their claws since they were babies, so they really don't mind it. It's not their favorite thing, but they don't mind it. They don't put up a fight. They get a little treat after, so they especially like that. But please don't misinterpret trimming with declawing, because I know people do that sometimes. I really don't believe in declawing. It's very inhumane. So again, trimming, not declawing, very different. Then I have a roll of gauze, self-explanatory. And then I also have some Benadryl. It looks like there was some leakage, so I do need to fix that. I actually have a whole bottle of Benadryl, but I was like, this is so cutesy and like little and what, but no, it's just making a mess. So I'm just gonna put the bottle in here. Just throw this out, put the bottle in there. I have room for it now. Benadryl, self-explanatory if they're having an anaphylactic shock or, no, not even shock, excuse me, just like reaction, not shock. I mean, shock, I guess, too, but, for example, one of my cats, like a year and a half ago, somehow a wasp got inside my house. I don't know how because I have an apartment, but it did. And I didn't notice until I saw my cat playing with it. And I got rid of it. And my cat, like a few minutes later, had swollen underneath her jaw. And it was also very concerning because it was around the mouth. And so I called the emergency vet and they told me not to rush in, that these things happen, and to give them Benadryl. And they told me the dosage. And I gave it a couple dosages within the appropriate amount of time, and she was fine. I've had to give it several times since then as well for other things, but again, I know what to do now, and I know my vet's advice. I didn't just do it willy-nilly. They told me to get it. And you can also do the pills, but like I said, my cats do better with liquid. So that's why that's there. Yeah, so again, I didn't do it myself. I asked my vet's advice. You should ask your vet's advice, if not for anything other than the dosage amount. And so I wrote down the dosage amount and how far apart you can give it to them. And yeah, so this I'm actually throwing out. It's hydroperoxide, and I'm just going to put the bottle in here again since it's big enough now. I'm going to keep the container. Oh my gosh, sorry. I just keep like throwing you guys around. I'm going to keep the container, but I meant like the liquid because I've never used it before and somehow it's like half empty. So, the hydroperoxide you can use to help induce vomitings in cat and dogs. Then you need the appropriate dosage. You need to ask your vet. I've never had to do it myself. It's just a precaution thing. But you have to know the appropriate dosage. And just be careful because some things are even toxic coming back up. Like it can do more harm to induce the vomiting than to go get it like pumped out of your animal. So I would only ever use that if I cannot get to a vet or if I won't have enough time to get to a vet. To me, it's a very risky to do, but I like to keep on hand in case I have to. Then these are probiotics by Nutromax. It was also recommended to me by Chewy Online Vet, because my cat was having some stomach issues. She's doing a lot better, but now when her stomach issues act up, I just do probiotics for a few days, and then she does a lot better. So it's not a daily thing. It's only if it starts acting up. So this is a really good brand. It's the one that the vet advised on. I tried to do probiotic treats, but those didn't seem to do as well. So sometimes you just gotta spend a little bit more money for the higher quality stuff. So that's what this is for, probiotics. Again, it's not daily. I haven't had to use it for months. So I just keep it on hand for if it's needed. Then I have some Ace Wrap, it's not Ace Wrap, excuse me, Coband. It's like a self-adhesive bandage. So for example, if your cat has a wound or your dog, whatever, you get some gauze, and then you wrap it with this. I actually tried to wrap my cat's paw. That's why one looks half empty when she had the hot spot, but she really, really did not like that. And she didn't mind the cone as much. So, but I have it still just in case. If you need bigger for a bigger animal, of course, go within the correct width that you need. There's tons out there. I got this from the Dollar Tree, and honestly, I would just buy it from like Amazon, Walgreens, Walmart, literally anywhere else, because for the amount you get, it's just not worth the price. To me personally, I love Coband. I use it a ton in the medical field. It's one of I worked in infectious disease and wound care, and we went through it like candy. So I really love it. And to go along with that, it is adhesive, or but like it still can come down easily, especially on an animal. So I have some paper tape here. It's kind of like a mess, so I'm just gonna clean that up a little bit. So I have some tape. It's got a little dirty. It used to be kept in a bag. I don't know what happened, guys. I try to stay as organized as possible, but sometimes things just don't go the way you want them to. And then I have some arnica. You are not supposed to use ibuprofen at all with your cats or dogs. It's actually quite poisonous to them, and I know people do it and they're like end up being fine, but it's something I don't want to risk. And arnica is a natural remedy that is also recommended by a lot of vets, not just naturopathic vets, but like MD vets, naturopathic vets. I've done my own personal research on it. I've never had to use it, but I've used it for myself personally, and it's to help with what basically ibuprofen would. Muscle aches, bruising. I don't know if it helps very much with inflammation, but I'll have to do more research in there. But it's supposed to help with like the ache and pains in an animal. My elderly dog, who is about 17 years old, she takes arnica in liquid. We put it in her food, or we just put it in her mouth. And when she's having like those really stiff days, once we do it for several days in a row, it really, really helps her. So these are little tablets. Like I said, my cats don't do well with tablets, so I do eventually want to get some liquid form as well for them. It's just a little bit more expensive. How does this work? Oh, I think you twist. I was trying to show you the size, because this I think would be easier to hide in treats or food than like the big pills, but it's just a little bead. You can use it for humans and dogs. Just make sure it's Arnica 30C, or whatever your advice is, and you just put it underneath the tongue. For humans and for animals, I think you just put it in their mouth. It's just a little bead. Really, I think this would be really easy to hide, especially if you have a big dog. I know the appropriate dosage. I just dropped the lid. I know the appropriate dosage for my animals. Make sure you know the appropriate dosage for yours. So yeah, I do this instead of like ibuprofen and stuff. So I just don't want to risk it. Or would. I haven't had to use it for my cats. My elderly dog does use a liquid form. Then I have Penicillin. I'm not sure. I don't think that's penicillin. Penicillin? I don't know. This is a diarrhea medication. It helps relieve diarrhea, replaces lost electrolytes for dogs and cats. It's lightly sweetened. I don't love sweetener in pet stuff, but it was recommended to me by my vet. Like I said, one of my cats has had some stomach issues in the past. She's been seen by her vet. She has pica. If you don't know what that is, it's a weird need to chew on things like string or licking surfaces, feathers. Like, she's gotten a lot better since she's been aging a little bit more, but it was really bad as a kitten. And now if I don't feed her on her daily schedule, like if she gets hungry, that's when it really acts up now. So I do just kind of keep the still in hand. I don't think that's what the diarrhea was coming from, but it was just kind of like information in case anyone else had struggled with that. She did have blood work for it to make sure she didn't have any like deficiencies. So that has been covered. I'm not just taking care of it myself. I have seen professionals to make sure that they're actually healthy. But they say that sometimes it just happens and that they eventually will probably grow out of it, which she has mostly. She still has her days or she gets hungry, but in general, it's a lot better. So, my cat Ava would get diarrhea at random times. And so the vet told me to do probiotics for a few days. And I could use this if needed. Most of the time you want to let it run its course, but if it's like so bad that you just need to use it, this is what she said, just don't overdo it because you don't want to make them constipated. And so it has a dosaging on the back, and I do the 5 to 15 pounds because she's about 8 to 9 pounds depending. And it's 1 teaspoon. And so I actually, or 5 ml, I will usually start with 2 ml, and then if needed more in a few hours, I will go to another 2 ml. Just to make sure she doesn't get constipated when she's on it. But again, seek your own professional advice, do your own research. And then cat wax. So when I do my grooming video, I won't actually be showing me grooming my animals because that's just going to be really hard to film. But like when I show you my stuff, I'll probably do it in the same video as what my cats like treats and grooming / just miscellaneous stuff video. You will be noticing a theme. My cats have a really hard time with hairballs. And so when they had their annual just a couple months ago, I brought that up. That one especially has issues with hairballs, and she's actually my short-haired cat. And I think it's because she grooms my longer-haired cat. Both of my cats don't have really long hair. One's short-haired and one's like a medium with longer hair on the belly. Her mom was a long-haired cat. I think her dad was a short-haired cat. And so when you like put them together, you get like a medium hair cat. Not always. Sometimes they're long or short, but you know what I mean. And so she suggested grooming more often. So I do groom more often. That did seem to help. But then they still were doing like fur balls, like maybe like once a week. And so I got cat wax, and I give this to them 1 time a week. It helps with fur balls or prevents. And so it says to give about, let's see here. I just kind of know it now because I've done it enough. It says for hairball removals for average weight adult cats, administrate once daily, which I don't do daily. I don't find it necessary. Squeeze approximately 1 inch of cat wax from tube. For smaller cats, vary amount accordingly. For preventive hairball formulation, administrate 2 to 3 times per week. I do 1 time a week for preventative, and it seemed to really, really help. Your cat might need it more, but mine doesn't. So I've been using this. It says for veterinary use only, but it's literally over the counter. So it smells, the thing about this though is it smells really, really bad, and my cats do not like it. So I have to kind of persuade them into taking it. They get yummy treats after. Today's actually the day I need to do it, so I'm going to be leaving this out. But it does seem to be helping a lot. Like I said, I know there's a lot of rambling in this video, but in my last one, people want more explanation on things, so that's what I'm doing. You can either go to my other video, it's very similar, there's some newer stuff, or just not watch this. Then I have eye rinse. It says to help reduce irritation and prevent tear stains with boric acid. I don't think I've ever had to use this. I just keep it in case. My cats haven't had yet issues with tear stains. My dogs do, but my cats haven't yet, and they've never really had anything. Oh, you know what? I think I've had to use this once because there was some litter in my cat's eye, and she wouldn't let me like get it out, so I had to put some eye rinse in there. It came right out. No irritation after, no worries. If there was, I would have acted accordingly. I think that this alone with my binder and my bug out bag and my emergency preparedness first aid kit for my cat shows that I love my animals to death and I would do anything for them. So anyone that's kind of like being judgmental out there, being like, oh, you're not doing good enough, or you're not doing this, blah, 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 blah. I take very, very good care of my animals, and I would never do anything to put them in danger. So just keep that in the back of your mind, please. That's not me trying to be mean. It's just some people on the internet are quite nasty. I have some triple antibiotic ointment. This is very some that say yes, it's safe. Some say no, it's not. So I haven't used it yet. I do keep it in here. I don't know what to tell you though. Maybe just go with what your vet's advice is. I've never had to ask my vet if I have to use it, but maybe I should ask them for future advice if it's safe. I think you definitely wouldn't want your cat to lick this off. So I think that's where the danger comes, not necessarily putting it on the skin, but if they were to ingest it. So if you did ever have to use this and you can't get in contact with your vet, I personally would probably put a cone on them so they can't lick it, and apply it and let it to like dry for a few hours, and then maybe rinse before you take the cone back off. I'm not sure. Obviously don't rinse it until it's had time to absorb into the wound, or scrape. You wouldn't really put it on a full-on wound, but do what you think is best. Do what your veterinarian says. I have it just in case, but I'm honestly not sure what I would do. So yeah. Then this is new. So I told you what I do now instead of the melatonin treats. I've noticed that the treats for like probiotics, melatonin, hairballs, it don't really work. I think it's a marketing thing that they do. I'm sure there's good ones out there, just the ones I've tried never have. Cat calming spray. So for 4th of July now, I'm going to try this. I'm going to put this on the spot that my cats like to hide and put this in there. I have one cat that really likes going out in her carrier for her walks. Like if I'm driving somewhere, I'll put them in their carrier, and then, or even to the vet, you know, so on and so forth. And I one that really does not like it, and I don't force her to ever go out, but for vets you kind of have to put them in. So cat calming spray. Nature's Miracle is the one I'm currently using. It was medium priced. It wasn't like the super expensive stuff. It wasn't like the really cheap stuff. I think it was about $10. And it seemed to work relatively okay. You don't want to spray it directly on your animals. You want to spray it on surfaces. So, for example, if your cat has a specific bed that they like, you're going to spray it on their bed. If they have a specific hiding spot in their carriers before you take them out, that kind of stuff. So, or blanket, if they have a blanket that they like a specific spot. My cats have a blanket on the couch that they lay on. That would be good to spray on there. Just don't spray it directly on them. And I've only used it a few times, but both times I feel like it worked. I don't know if that's hopeful thinking or if it really did work, but I will keep you updated on that as I use it more and more. My cats are not naturally anxious cats. They're actually, like, they're not mean. They don't scratch or bite or hiss. Like, sometimes they get me a scratch now and then, like running across me or something, but they've never like purposely tried to harm me. So I haven't, or like naturally really anxious. I have one that's a little bit shyer, but not like anxious. And so I haven't really had to use it too much yet. And because I have one that's a little bit more shy, she doesn't like being outside with like all of the noises. So I don't typically take her out for the walks. I will let her out on the catio, but I let her tell me when she's ready to come back in. Like if she starts pacing or starts meowing excessively, I let her inside when she wants to come inside. Or I have one cat that will be out in her catio for hours if she could. So yeah, I guess that's a little bit anxious personality, but she's not typically an anxious cat outside of like her normal day-to-day stuff. Anyways, I have hydrocortisone spray for dogs and cats. Again, some of the stuff says for cats, but when I researched it, it's also fine for dogs. I'm not sure about the calming spray, if it is good for dogs too. I mean, it says safe to use around pets and home when used as directed. And I know that Nature's Miracle does make dog stuff. So maybe a quick Google, a little bit of research, and I'm sure it's fine to use for dogs too. But anyways, hydrocortisone spray stops itching, temporary relief, or minor skin irritations, quick relief. This is what I used on my cat's hot spot. It went away within about 2 weeks completely. But she had to it was really irritating her for a while that the fur between her toes, she was totally gone. So, again, I did contact some vet's advice just to make sure it was okay, and she's fine. The reason why I don't always go in for everything and we'll use the free advice from a vet online is because it's expensive. So I go in for their annuals, and I go in if it's an emergency or if they need their vaccines. I'm a responsible pet owner, but it's expensive to go in for every little thing. Like a hot spot, if that looked extremely irritated, if it looked like it was oozing, if it, infected, of course I would have gone in. But I hadn't got to that point yet, and I felt like I could prevent it from getting there. So I took care of it, and she's totally fine. I did ask the online vet that it's a free advice to make sure it was okay, because I have access to that, and they said yes. Just look out for any, infections. She acted normal. She was drinking water. She was eating her food. And so please just don't judge me for not taking my animals for every little single thing. If that's what you want to do, that's totally fine. But it's like a couple $100s to take a cat in every single day. Or not every single day, but every single time something's wrong with them. So anyways, do what you have to do. No shame either way, as long as you're taking care of your animals appropriately. Then that's great. Again, guys, I have a whole freaking binder on my cats. So I'm taking care of them, trust me. They're happy. And then I have ear therapy for dogs and cats. It's gentle, cleanse, and deodorizes. Helps relieve bacterial and fungus infections. I've never had to use this. I just keep it on hand. But that's also pretty self-explanatory. From videos I've seen, you squirt a little bit in the ear with their head tilted, kind of massage it gently into their ears. Otherwise, the liquid just fall out. Kind of like humans, when you put eardrops into a person or yourself, you don't want to just put it in and sit right back up. You want to have them a little bit down the side, put a little bit in, whatever the directions say, rub it in a little bit, and yeah, there you go. And then I have Bag Balm Skin Moisturizer. Works wonders on dry skin. Apply a small amount of Bag Balm to the affected area and rub into skin thoroughly for a long-lasting effect. So I would personally use this more on a dog. I mean, you could use it on cats too, but the reason why is dogs tend to get those dry spots on their elbows from laying down a lot, or even if you didn't realize the pavement was so hot, and it is, put some of this on there to prevent any bad effects after. But this wouldn't have been my first. I don't think this was necessary for me at this point, because I just don't see I prefer the hydrocortisone over the Bag Balm. It's basically saying it's for the same thing. One's mostly for dry skin and one is for irritation, but this is also saying for irritation. I'm not sure if it's meaning irritation for, hands, feet, lips, cuticles, elbows, heels, chafing, pets, livestock. I got this from Chewy, so I'm not... Is it saying it's for humans too? Hands, feet, lips, cuticles, elbows, heels, chafing, pets. I don't think pet animals chafe, so this must be multi-use. I don't know. I honestly just don't think this was absolutely necessary to get. Would I get it again? No. When it expires, am I going to replace it? Probably not. Not unless if I get my own dog that has issues with dry skin or something, or if my cats end up getting dry skin. But it looks like it's a pretty basic ingredient list, which is nice. But again, when it comes to irritation, I tend to like the hydrocortisone, so it worked really well for my cat's hot spot. And then last but not least, sorry, I'm saying so much, I just realized that's kind of annoying. I have this Quick Stop. It's septic powder. See, I just said again. Does anyone ever notice when they just repeatedly say or and then you just realize you're saying it all the time, and then it gets on your nerves, because then you're people probably have realized that you're saying it and then it's getting on their nerves. Or is that just me? Probably just me. I'm gonna try not to say for the rest of this video. But here is some septic powder. Stops bleeding. You can put it on minor cuts, minor wounds, And you can use it obviously for trimming your cat's nails. I have had to use this before. I feel bad. I've clipped my cat's nails too short once, maybe twice, and they started bleeding a little bit. So I learned my lesson, and I got some of this, and it really helps. What you do is you just put a little bit in the palm of your hand. Oh, it's messy. A little bit in your palm of your hand or in the lid, even if you want. And then you take the nail that is currently bleeding, you dip it in there. My cats try to lick it off right away, so I hold them for a few minutes, and then you're set to go. It's also supposed to help with any pain that might cause. Because cutting the quick, I feel so bad when that happens. I try really hard not to. I cut my cat's nails probably like twice a month, 2 or 3 times in a month, and I've had them for 3 years. So I feel like only cutting it 2 times is pretty good. 2 times too many, yes, but at least I'm prepared for it now. And I haven't done it for a while, so. Anyways, that is my very long rambling video for those of you who want more in detail on the stuff I have for my pet's first aid. I will be doing a video of showing my grooming materials / treats. I have so many. I've done a bug out video for my cats and dog stuff. I don't think that needs to be redone at this time, as nothing's really changed with it. I've just replaced expired food, but that's about it. And I check it every like 6 months or so. I just said I wonder if who's gonna count how many times I said it in this video. It's gonna annoy me so much when I rewatch this, but me pointing it out is probably me now pointed it out to people who didn't really hear it, and now they're gonna be counting. But whatever. Sometimes I just say that when I'm rambling. So anyways, me trying not to say that word is actually harder when you're trying not to say it. So anyways, I don't know what I was saying. I do have like cat carriers. I have one for each cat. They're soft. They're easy to grab. I will be trying to, at one point or another, I'm not rushing into it, get hard cased ones. I do have limited space, and that's why I went with like the soft ones, so they're foldable, easy to like slip into small areas. But I have recently watched a few videos where a lot of people are saying, like, if you have to, not just for like your day-to-day stuff, where you like go to the vet, or you know, taking your cats out in the car to go on a walk, or so on and so forth, but if it was a true emergency, you're gonna want a hard case, because if stuff is falling, it's chaotic. You don't want them to be easily smooshed. So eventually I'll be getting hard cased ones. I'll be getting 2. Let's see if I can find one that will fit 2 cats comfortably. Oh my word. Obviously I need to end this video. I just can't. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoy this video. Oh my gosh, I just can't with myself anymore. I hope y'all enjoy this video, and I don't edit anything. I don't have the skill to, so it is what it is. So have a lovely day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.